Welcome, everybody, to Expressions the Podcast Season 2. Tonight we have a very special episode. We have our friends from Planet Pointless here with us again, and we're going to be talking about the origins of expressions.
Oh, I'm excited.
So hyped.
Well, it's your reactions that I'm looking forward to the most. That's what I'm really hoping to see, because there's some expressions that, you know, we've heard our entire lives, right? And if you could think of some that I don't bring up, by all means, it'd be really interesting to find out where these things come from. Originally, I had an idea to do this because I wanted to highlight how times have changed and how expressions that we say every day really come from some pretty dark places. The whole point of our show is to give people a better state of mental health, to give you a place where you can come and listen to some creative people and hear how they have been able to achieve being creative in their day-to-day lives. But at the same time, expression is such a broad thing. And to express yourself is either through creativity or just through the words that you use every day. And I find so many people use these words so wrong and have no clue where they come from. And some of these kind of open my eyes like, what? So it could be fun. You never know. I'm hoping it is. And we'll find out by the end of the show. Before we talk to John and Sean, I want to say hello to Mark and Aurora. It's been a break. We've been away for a while. We're coming back to this. We've got season 2 starting up tonight. What do you guys think? Aurora, how have you been?
I'm doing great. Keeping busy with stuff. I'm so excited to start season 2. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm so happy to have Planet Pointless back on with us again. And I think this is the perfect episode for them to come back on because I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. So yeah, super excited.
Awesome. Mark, man, a lot's changed over the holidays. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing well. Really looking forward to season 2. I can't believe they actually renewed us for a second season. It could have been that we had Planet Pointless coming on, or it could be that they didn't know, so that's why they renewed us. I'm really not sure, but no, I'm super excited. I know we've got a lot of great things coming up. I'm excited to talk about expressions on expressions. That's
absolutely
something that we've been talking about for a little while. So I'm interested to get into this.
And it's funny you say, we're glad that we were re-signed for season 2. We still haven't gotten Ryan's contract, so we have no clue if he's signing up, if he's coming back. I'm really hoping he is. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, Ryan's coming back, but he's still working nights. So
yeah, he's still at work now. I think he's
probably. Yeah. That's okay. He still enjoys this show in spirit, and we love having him around. So let's see how season 2 pans out. We've got a lot of fun shows planned, but this to me is the real fun show, and I'm stoked. Sean, John, guys, thank you so much for coming back on the show. We had a great time last time you were here, and as Aurora said, I think this is like a really cool topic to have you guys back on because you're young. I mean, you have this. You may not have been exposed to some of these expressions of where they came from, so. If we get one and you are like, where did that come from? That could be the best part of the whole show. So how have you been?
Fantastic. Yeah, I've moved. My background's a little different, as you can see. Whoa, check it out. Lovely. I have windows now. It's awesome, man.
There you go. And
my mental health is just skyrocketing. Yeah, it's great. I use the fireplace for storage, actually.
I see that. Don't store anything too important in case you might decide you need some heat.
There you go.
What were you saying, Aurora?
It's just amazing how much light will do to your mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've never been happier.
That's awesome.
I don't even know if you're being honest right now. There's no clues happening.
That's all part of the fun, isn't it?
He's just yanking our chain.
Yeah. Sean, how you doing, man? You don't have your guns behind you today. What's up?
No, I'm in the process of, I think moving. I don't know. I guess you could say that. I don't know. They took out one of my rooms and gave it to my neighbor. So all of my storage shit.
They took
rewind.
Yeah,
and
so
gave it to your neighbor.
So I live in my buddy's house, like my buddy's parents' place, and I live in like a tiny little basement apartment. So I had this, like, I guess they could call it like a technical spare bedroom. So that's where I had all my crap so my apartment didn't look like it was, flooded with all my bullshit. So they ended up giving that room to my next door neighbor, who is my buddy's brother. And now I have all my storage in where my living room is. And I'm confined to my bedroom now. So I live in and breathe out of my bedroom.
Ooh, be careful. I did that to my cat once. He gained like all kinds of weight. He got huge and he had nowhere to go. So I know you can't be living that way, man.
Please exercise your Sean.
Please exercise your Sean.
It's definitely weird. And by the time this comes out, I would have actually just turned 27, which is fun. So I am this much closer to 30. This much.
There you go. Yeah, and I'm about that much past 30, so we're good.
I'm just gonna remove you from this chat right now. Kids, no, that's great, and congratulations in the future, in the past or something.
Yes, this is the future past.
The future past.
Such a meta idea for an episode. Expressions, odd expressions.
We'll call it.
Well, that's actually, I'm stoked about this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The expression, the idea of an expression, looking into the origin is really interesting to me. There's been a lot of stuff that I've learned from, like, for example, the word photography. How many people know what the word photography means, where it came from? Anybody who I've talked to knows, because I talk about it all the time. But the word photography literally comes from Greek words phos and graphis, which is drawing with light. So when you think about where the word comes from, it really helps you understand what the intent was for that saying or that phrase or whatever. And that's the difference maker, the intent. I mean, there's a lot of expressions that are out there as a good thing, but then there's some that are just racist and mean and still being used today. So why don't we get to that? Why don't we start talking about some of these expressions? And I'm going to start off with one that's a little bit on the weird side, because it's something that people use all the time. And I'd like to know what you guys think of the origin of this expression. So I'm going to start off with rule of thumb.
Yeah, I use that all the time. Yeah,
everybody uses that.
I can't remember the last time I used that, actually.
Yeah, so, even at work,
I use that all the time, and then Brian told me the meaning of it, and it bothered me so much. So every time I hear somebody say it, I'm like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't say it. But I said it the other day when I was talking to somebody on the kiosk, and I was so mad at myself.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to get canceled?
No, we might.
Oh, no.
We've all signed our contracts.
If your screen suddenly goes black, we've gone too far.
You've been cut. You've been chopped.
So, maybe Mark or Aurora, use rule of thumb in a sentence, in a phrase. And then John and Sean can give us where they think this came from.
Oh, no.
Oh, good. Do you want to do it, Mark?
Not really, no. Why don't you use it in the context you used it in the other day?
I can't even remember. I think, like, you'd use rule of thumb in sort of like... Interesting.
Well, it'd be basically if you're thinking about doing things, somebody would say, well, the rule of thumb here would be...
The rule of thumb would be, or as a rule of thumb, you should.
As a rule of thumb, you should. And so on. Yeah. Where it actually comes... Well, what do you think? Where do you guys think it actually came from?
Yeah, Sean, what are you thinking right now? You look like you're pontificating something crazy right now.
Fuck, man. I don't know. I think the way that I would think about it being a skateboarder is like, general rule of thumb is like, don't like skate on anything that's like smaller than your thumb, because like if I did that, I'd probably like impale myself on some whack shit. So
I've run over my own thumb skating before. That sucked.
Yeah, very good.
Oh yeah, that's never fun.
I lost a nail, dude. It was nuts.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, it was whack.
Over your thumb?
Yeah, I was like, I forget what happened, but I landed something with my hand on the ground, and I guess I was still turning, and my wheel just went crunch under my body weight. It was crazy.
Oh,
so yeah, rule of thumb
basically means don't run over your thumb with your skateboard.
Well, there's the guess. We're dialing it in. Let's go.
You don't want to phone a friend or anything?
We're good. I don't have any friends. That's fine.
It's interesting though how close Sean was when he started talking about the size of his thumb.
That's right. That's absolutely
interesting.
I was thinking that. So rule of thumb comes from back in the day a husband was able to beat his wife with nothing no bigger than the size of his thumb.
No way.
Yeah,
Legally.
The switch couldn't be any bigger than the thickness of a thumb.
Watch, I'm going to be calling everyone out for this shit now. Like, I'm
anytime
going to
you
be
hear that
such a dick.
expression, not cool.
Not okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely not cool.
I use this all the time, and then I found out about it, and I was in so much shock. I'm like, I can't believe.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to check myself.
I
I'm gonna
can't
have to
believe
check
people
myself.
aren't talking about this anymore. So wow, it's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah,
But
unreal.
It's amazing how something that was, to think about coming up with an expression like that now, or a law like that now, it would never fly because it's just not right. But at the time, this was an accepted practice, and I think about how far we've come as a society, but then I also think how far back we've fallen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So many ways.
When I think about an expression like this, so.
It makes me wonder how it shifted from the actual size of your thumb, like all of that, to standard precedent for something else. Like how the language moved in that way. I don't know how we got here, but yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Never thought about that before. Yeah, not okay. Yeah.
You know what? I actually forgot that there was another part of a conversation I wanted to have before we got into more expressions. So I'm going to leave rule of thumb. I'm going to leave that expression, and I'm going to get into this next thing. We did a show with Ken Domick, and on that show, to prepare for that show, I did a search, and I found the Urban Dictionary definition of Ken Domick. And I thought,
here we go.
Oh my God, there's Urban Dictionary definitions for names. So I thought, what's my name mean? So I looked it up.
Was it something terribly offensive? Yeah.
So the Urban Dictionary for Weiss is: to be a Weiss is to supersede all goals and expectations, dominates everything they do. A Weiss is typically pretty sexy. So
wow,
I'll go with that.
Congratulations.
I'll go with that. So I also did a look for Robinson.
Yeah, I saw this in the chat. I was concerned.
Oh no!
I was like, wait, you looked up Urban Dictionary on our last names?
Yes, I tried to do full names, but sometimes only last came up. So this is actually pretty interesting. Robinson is a person who displays and invokes a sense of confidence and ability to handle oneself or problem. Comes across as very humble, non-judgmental, and quiet, yet very concise and logical when they do respond. Responses typically include a well-placed question or short remark that, when answered or acknowledged, can solve or diffuse a problem. Sometimes a response, although limited, is meant to drive a conversation further so as to allow the person to solve or diffuse the problem themselves. Often confused with being cocky, arrogant, disinterested, or a know-it-all, those who think so are traditionally quick to discover, however, that this is not the case and experience an aha moment when their thoughts and reality later intertwine. So in other words, it's exactly correct about you.
So basically what you're saying is Aurora is a fucking superhero.
Quiet, calm, confident, knows exactly what to say, when to say it.
Right on.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I think that's pretty cool.
That's actually pretty cool.
But then,
moving right along.
Then I looked.
Oh, he knows what's coming up.
Then I looked for Flinders.
The internet wasn't as kind.
No, I'm out of time. I gotta go.
Okay, so this is where we kind of sidetrack a little bit. Flinders refers to Flinders Street Station, the main train station of Melbourne. It's a common meeting place for all types of people, but in recent years has become a rather frightening area due to the increased amounts of goths and emos who congregate frequently. Saturday is the main congregation day for the emos.
Yeah,
the emos. I'm offended for these emos.
But this is before they venture on to the Three Palms. Apparently, the Three Palms is a thing in Flinders Station. So yeah, normal children or the world who enjoy colored clothing often feel intimidated by the presence of the emo coolness and feel inferior due to their colorful super tubes, as opposed to the emos who enjoy the wearing of black super jeans.
Super jeans? What the hell is a super jeans?
I have no idea. I've never actually heard that meaning of the name before. But,
me either.
Is that even a meaning of a name? Like that?
I don't think so. I think that's just something somebody stuck on Urban Dictionary. And Flinders where was it? Flinders. You said Flinders Street Station. Yeah. So originally, there's so much stuff in Australia named after Flinders because of the explorer Matthew Flinders that discovered Australia. But the origins of the name was apparently that it was started as Flinters, Flint. Which was somebody that would make the flints that they used to strike to make fires. So it was like small morsels, which is interesting because I was in St. John's, Newfoundland with my wife several years ago, and there's a fish and chips restaurant. We're in there because you got to have fish and chips in Newfoundland. And so we're there, and up on the wall is a big thing, and it says Flinders menu. And I'm like, I got to ask, what is that?
Yeah, of course.
So the Flinders menu is apparently the appetizer menu. So a flinder is also a small morsel of food. Who knew?
Wow.
But yeah, so I ordered everything off that menu. So it was
catastrophic amount of money. Yeah.
Yeah. I also have a color laminated copy. They gave me 2 copies of that menu to take with me because my last name was Flinders.
Oh,
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I always wonder about those Urban Dictionary things. I looked up my own name once, and it was like a short, prickly dick wheel that nobody likes and has no friends. I wonder how you guys got these nice definitions from.
That's what mine was, and I changed it to John. I went in and edited it myself because I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Oh, boy.
All right, well, we've got one more that I was able to find, and that's for our friend Ryan. Ryan Knight. Actually, it's his full name, Ryan Knight. Outspoken socialist on Twitter who often has the best political take on the app. He is not scared to debate anyone and hosts a fantastic podcast. Smart, articulate, handsome, and wears his heart on his sleeve. He always has the best interests of everybody in mind, despite his haters not being able to see that. He is simply awesome.
So I think he wrote that himself.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about that because that is literally Ryan. So
it is. Yeah.
It's very interesting when you start looking at these. All right, I just thought that'd be fun. They were all much nicer than what they said about Ken Domick. I'll just put that up there.
We got to get Ken back on. I need to talk to that guy.
I agree. Cool. I totally agree.
I think Ken was great.
All right, blood is thicker than water. What do you guys think of that?
I think it's just a fact, isn't it?
What do you mean? Where do you think it came from? Like, what do you think it's supposed to mean?
Fuck, I think maybe somebody just like, I don't know, somebody was like bleeding or something in like a pool, and they were like, "Hey, the viscosity of the blood it's more viscous than water. Look at that!
Look at that! Wow, cool."
And then they were like, "Hey, blood is thicker than water," and then everybody was like, "Yeah, family is not so much family sometimes because I don't know. That's how I'm fucking thinking of it now.
Stick with your family. That's how I got with that whole expression. That's the only thing I get from it ever.
Yeah, basically just enjoy every Fast and Furious movie.
I've enjoyed none. I have never seen one. And I
was selling car audio when the first one came out. That was an interesting time. Yeah. Aurora, Mark, what do you guys think of that? Where do you think that came from? Nothing.
I think John was right on the vein there. With blood was thicker than water because it is something to do with the bonds of family, I believe.
Aurora, any take on that?
Yeah, I think I've heard it used in the phrase of like family specifically, like someone using it when comparing to their family. I don't know though, how they came up with the expression.
So what I learned was people commonly use the shorter version of this phrase to suggest that familiar relationships take priority over friendships or that non-blood related bonds. And I think that's what we all think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some scholars believe that that's not exactly what it would have meant because there's a full phrase. The extended phrase is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. So basically what that's trying to say is
this is some biblical shit.
Yeah, one that directly contradicts the common meaning. A chosen blood covenant provides a stronger bond than any family. So what they're saying is if you choose your blood covenant, that's a stronger bond than any bond you would have with your family. So everybody uses it. It's completely the opposite. So blood is thicker than water actually isn't about what people think it is, which I thought was kind of interesting.
So this is essentially the family you get to choose is stronger than the family you were forced into.
Exactly.
But that's so backwards compared to how we use it now.
I know.
Like-
yeah, but to be honest, hearing that, it actually kind of makes sense.
Mhm.
You
The
know,
blood of
like,
the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
Huh.
You don't want to be the guy who says that in a random conversation, though, right?
No.
Because they will exit the room that you guys are in.
Yeah.
You're like, right, okay, cool. Thank you.
That guy over there, he's fucking weird.
It's a
Yeah.
weirdo. But very fascinating. All this.
Keep that guy away from me. Wait, give me that stick. Is it bigger than my thumb? Yeah.
All right. What do you guys think? Okay, so this I'm going to get a bit dark here.
Oh, good.
This could potentially be very controversial. Very controversial. Couple expressions, actually. 3 I'm going to give. The first one is the expression "the peanut gallery." Have you ever heard of the expression "That's enough out of the peanut gallery"?
Yes, I have.
I
Yeah.
remember first
Yeah.
hearing this, I believe, on the Muppets, where the 2 guys up in the 2 old men
Statler and
peanut
Waldorf.
gallery, right?
Me and Sean have used that photo on Instagram to describe
Nice.
us.
Oh, that's brilliant! I love it. Do you guys heckling from the crowd? I love it.
That's all the podcast that we do is us heckling from the crowd.
I love your podcast. By the way, I love the podcast that you guys do. It makes me happy. I laugh. I really enjoy it. So I really hope you guys keep on doing it.
Oh, bless you, sir.
And okay, back to this expression, the peanut gallery. Mark, Aurora, any thoughts on this expression?
you know,
I would be cheating because I looked. I looked.
Okay. All right.
Cheater.
I have no idea what it means outside of this, but I do remember my dad, you know, when I was younger and my siblings were younger, whenever we were like, you know, joking about something or whatever, he would use this phrase. So I'm very curious to figure out
All the
what
time.
it actually means.
All the time I heard that when I was a kid
Yeah.
growing up. That's enough out of the peanut gallery because you're chirping from the back of the room or sitting in the back seat or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so where this comes from is actually typically used to reference hecklers, originated as a term to refer to those, usually black people, who sat in the cheapest section of vaudevillian theaters. So essentially what it is a derogatory way of calling hecklers, you know, the black people, bad things.
Yikes.
Oh shit!
That's
That-
Originating
terrible.
from that kind of a background, right? So
Yeah.
all
I have
the-
to
Oh my
Or-
gosh.
I've got to
That's, like,
restructure my whole
supremely
vocabulary
racist.
after
Wow,
I know.
Yeah. Whoa.
I think that's why it's
So-
important to do these kinds of shows because there's a lot of these expressions, like the next one, for example,
Uh-oh.
uppity. You ever hear the expression, oh, he's just uppity?
No, haven't heard that one. Oh.
Yeah, I have.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard it.
I'm safe. All right. Haven't done that one.
John.
You always hear people, I don't know how often you hear it now, but, oh, he's just a little uppity, or, you know, this
Yeah.
person's just uppity or whatever. Any thoughts of where that might come from? Sean, you said you heard this expression.
I did. I don't know. I've been told that I was uppity once or twice because I have really bad ADHD. So, like, you know, I'm constantly bouncing off any and all walls, you know, whenever possible. So, I don't know. I've been called uppity once or twice, and I just assume that it's, you know, this guy's super positive and, you know, he's really out there and, you know, he's a fucking freak of nature. Who knows? Like,
Who says you're positive?
I mean, as of recently, not many people.
At one point in my life, yeah. Whew. Was I uppity? Okay, I shouldn't be saying that, right? There's a reason why.
So uppity was commonly used to describe black people that
Oh,
didn't
God.
know their socioeconomic place.
I'll show myself out. Thank you.
Oh,
So
my
imagine-
goodness.
Imagine maybe a black person just out of slavery or whatever. Dixie's now attacking me. Pardon me. Hang on a sec. I got to put her down or else I'm dead. So somebody who's being called uppity is basically a person who's basically fighting for themselves and caring about what they want to do, who everybody else said, no, you're just being uppity. You don't know your socioeconomic place. You're too poor. You're just
My
causing
God.
conflict or something.
That's
like
so
that.
terrible. Yeah, because like I've heard that in relation to like somebody being like, what's the word? Kind of like hyper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sean was saying. Yeah, I've heard it that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. Unreal.
So
It's crazy how terrible all these expressions are.
and they're common.
Yeah.
They're so common.
We're gonna. I feel like we're giving Aurora a headache with all this negative shit.
We've used the peanut gallery like the last couple weeks on our Instagram. You know, we need to keep that. Yeah, I got to restructure my vocabulary after all this. You know,
But we're awful people, though. Like it's like
I never said we weren't awful.
There is a difference, though, when you
We're
think
not
about
racist.
when you think about the origin of the saying, the expression.
Yes.
And then how it's used and what it's meant today. Like when you talk about the peanut gallery today, we think of that as it is the hecklers or the people in the back rows. So that part is correct. It's the people that are in the back row that, you know, they're throwing their comments out because they still want to feel like they're part of the show. And
Right.
that's where the peanut gallery comes in. So it's kind of like me right here. I'm the peanut gallery. But
The original intention.
Yeah, the
is
original
what makes
intention
it so
was-
bad, right?
was not.
Yeah. Oh my
Right,
goodness.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at the next one that I was going to talk about. And you guys heard the expression, the paddy wagon?
No, that's
oh
I'm
god.
not familiar.
I have a feeling this is going to be inherently racist.
Well, kind of, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, you know, a little bit. Yeah.
This whole show could get in trouble if it's taken the wrong way.
We can flip over to mine that's not on your list if you want.
So I always remember the paddy wagon as being whenever there's a big outbreak or there's a bar fight or there's people getting arrested, they'd bring in the paddy wagon and all these criminals would be taken away in the paddy wagon in the like a big huge, what I thought was a padded cell, you know, a vehicle or something, right? Well, obviously, paddy is not padded walls. Paddy originated in the late 1700s as a shortened form of Patrick, and then later pejorative term for any Irishman. Wagon naturally refers to a vehicle, so paddy wagon either stemmed from the large number of Irish people or Irish police officers, or the perception that rowdy, drunken Irishmen constantly ended up in the back of police cars. So paddy wagon essentially, you know, saying that Irish people are always in the back of police cars.
Damn.
So yeah, not cool.
Yep.
Not cool.
Well, not cool at all. My goodness.
Yeah, I've heard that one, but not as commonly. And wow.
Yeah. I think like that again. How did that go from one thing to another? I just love like the broken telephone idea of the thing, where like you hear it in one way over the course of time, the meaning completely shifts. Not completely, but the origin of the thing is completely lost, and how that affects us now.
So true. I mean, look at the next one. The next one isn't necessarily derogatory, which is probably smart that we get away from those.
Oh yeah, we're out of the woods.
A little bit out of the woods. We've had a couple people on our show who have been freelance photographers or freelance journalists. Where do you guys think the word freelance comes from?
Oh.
The folks that work for free. I don't know. That's a tough call. 'Cause I don't know that one.
All right.
To
Well,
me,
go ahead. Go ahead, Aurora.
I don't know. I wonder if it's like a. I didn't read in the notes or anything like that. I wonder if it's like when I think of freelance, I never really thought of deconstructing it as an expression. I thought it was just the name for what it was. But I wonder if it was like maybe the name of a place like that you could list your jobs or something like that.
Okay.
It's like free and maybe it's called something. I don't know.
Like an early classifieds.
Yeah, kind of like classifieds almost. I never thought of deconstructing it, but
I'm seeing medieval. I don't know. I'm seeing swords and I don't know, man. I don't know.
Cool.
Let's go.
I love Knight's Tale.
Bing. So that's actually what it is. Freelance. Back in the day, knights on horseback were mercenaries, and literally a lance that would serve anyone.
Get out of here.
So freelance comes from when knights on horseback were mercenaries, and literally it's a lance that would serve anyone.
That's pretty cool, actually.
That is so cool.
It's really cool breaking words down, I find. I really enjoy it. All right. Baker's dozen. What do you guys think? You ever hear the expression a baker's dozen?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
So it's like 13 units instead of 12.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Heard it before. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Brain fart.
Yeah,
So
I've heard that.
it's funny. This is because of cruel laws that would have bakers fined or flogged for selling underweight bread.
What?
To avoid this, bakers would give an extra loaf of bread to avoid being accused of shorting people.
True. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So a
Wow.
baker's dozen originally came from bakers that were scared shitless of getting flogged because they gave a little too little bread. What's up
Wow.
with that?
Yeah, that's
How
wild.
violent is a world where you walk into Cobb's Bread, they give you one slice less of a loaf, and you can pull out a flog and start beating them. Like,
I say,
retail's tough these days.
yeah, I think it's tough now. Yikes!
Yeah.
I'm getting shorted at No Frills every day. Yikes!
Jesus, we have is Karens now. Fuck, back then we feared getting beaten down with a fucking rod, dude.
Karens
What
was
is
a weapon.
flogging? Can you like
Okay.
expand on that? What's flogging?
Absolutely. Flogging would be, think of a whip,
Okay.
but instead of the end of the whip, you have several whips,
What the
which are
hell?
usually large straps of leather, which is what I understand.
That's no
So
fun.
To flog somebody would be taking multiple whips, short whips, and just going.
Holy shit! That
Okay,
poor
so-
baker, man.
That's just my memory of it. It may be wrong. Mark's looking it up. I can see that
Yeah.
expression on his face right now.
Fetishnight.com.
I was gonna say
I know that's where I was going.
I was gonna say I'd rather take a Karen than the 50 Shades of Shit fucking
Yeah,
bandwagon. No, thank you.
So basically, flogging is defined as a punishment in which the victim is hit repeatedly with a whip or stick.
Wow, that
Jesus,
sucks.
fuck.
That poor
Yeah.
baker.
There you go.
No, thank you.
Poor
I will pass. No flogging for me, please.
Yeah. no
Wow.
flogging.
So
Interesting.
they were so scared to have this done, they would just give extra, and they're shorting out themselves. That's so sad.
Just
Wow.
think, people nowadays enjoy flogging. So, I mean,
Some-
fuck
some-
it.
My point.
Some people pay for it. It's
Yeah,
just
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was movies and books made about it. It's
I
fantastic.
paid good
Yeah.
money to get
Terrible.
flogged.
I want to kind of elaborate on that with the next one. The
and all
next
you
one,
need to
please
do
get
is
us away
short
from
them a
this.
loaf of bread.
you say some people like flogging it or whatever. That could be misinterpreted. Very much like sowing wild oats.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
You guys
Yeah.
know the expression "sowing his wild oats," that kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't that just mean having sex freely and just,
Yeah, if this pertains to being a slut, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah, so basically, someone who is sowing their wild oats is enjoying sex with a variety of people. In other words, is what you think, right?
Man, Jimi Hendrix was a slut.
He sowed all kinds of oats.
Oh, his oats were.
Okay,
God.
I'm not comfortable talking about another man's oats here.
so this phrase made a lot of sense back when many people had to farm for a living. Wild oats were a type of weed, so the phrase began as a way to mock someone for wasting time. Why would you be sowing wild oats? You're sowing weeds. Why are you growing weeds? So who would waste all the effort it takes to plant weeds after all? Right. So over the years, however, the phrase referred to as young men going through a phase of promiscuity. According to Worldwide Words, someone who's sowing their wild oats now literally means enjoying sex with a variety of people. But originally it was, why are you wasting time growing weeds and putting all that effort into growing weeds?
That's
You're
so
just
funny.
sowing your wild oats. It's just a waste of time.
Wow, that was a
Wow.
complete right fucking turn. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
There's so many cool things.
I
Yeah.
love that last one. That's fantastic.
I had one that we had talked about that you didn't add to your list. You mind if I throw
okay.
one in there?
Please go ahead.
Okay,
I
so
love
how about the expression "the whole 9 yards"?
Football.
Football.
Sports
Any ideas?
ball.
Any ideas?
That's all I got, honestly. I thought the whole 9 yards. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought there'd be like 9 yards left before you, I don't know, get a touchdown. That's what
Yeah,
I
I
thought.
was going to say,
So-
isn't that how far Peyton Manning took that deflated football?
Wait, was that Peyton Manning or Tom Brady?
Whatever which. They're both idiots.
They both
No
are
idea.
paid way too much for what they do.
to play a game, yeah.
Way too.
All right, so
Aurora.
the whole 9.
Aurora has something to say.
Oh, Aurora.
Is there a possibility this has something to do with like fabric or material?
It may now. There's actually a fabric store in Thunder Bay called the Whole 9 Yards.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's there, but The origin of it was in World War II, the American combat planes. The belts that had the machine gun that fed the bullets into the machine guns were 27 feet long, which is 9 yards.
Oh.
So if you were in a dogfight and you were had used up all of your bullets on a target, on an adversary, you were said to have given your adversary the whole 9 yards.
That's cool.
That's
I like
dope
that.
as shit.
Yeah.
So that's where that one came from, but now we use it synonymous as I gave him everything, I gave him the whole 9 yards, so I gave him everything I had, So yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's okay. I like the other version much better.
Yes, super cool.
Yeah.
Guns, yeah, woo.
Yeah.
I like the whole 9 yards one, but it kind of took me away from where I was going to go with the next thing that I was going to bring up. Since we were talking about all these kinds of sexual innuendo things.
Let's go back to that.
Yes.
Bring it on.
This is a personal one for me. You guys ever heard the expression eager beaver?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Well,
no.
Oh no. Do we really want to hear the end of this?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
out of time. Okay.
It's a lot more tame than you're probably thinking. I built it up way too much.
Oh, God.
Okay.
So what would you think eager beaver would originate from?
A very happy vagina. I don't know. is that
Sean Fernandez.
Because that's
I can't take you anywhere.
okay. From my experience, I've heard people refer to
From my
vagina
experience.
Mark's
as
just
a
shaking his
beaver.
head.
That's what I thought, man.
I thought
don't
I
know.
was thinking premature ejaculation. Is this,
Okay, there's actually no origin for this. I just thought I'd have a funny word to say.
There's got to be an origin for it. There's gotta be an origin.
No, I do. There is something.
that
Okay,
was
so
filthy.
All right.
eager beaver is essentially a keen and enthusiastic person who works very hard.
Oh, good. Okay.
That's
Wow.
what
That's what I thought it meant, Sean.
I was
John.
very,
But
very
it's-
wrong.
it was
Sorry, we were
also-
misled.
There's a-
But it was also my CB handle when I was 5 years old, which is really funny because everybody thinks of eager beaver as pretty much what Sean said. Just like-
I have never in my life.
And here's me growing up as a kid. My father drove. He was a traveling salesman, so he's always on the road with his van and on his CB radio. And of course, sorry, I gotta.
Yeah.
Else she'll yell and scream. And he had his handle, and my uncle's handle was the Ketchup Man. So I thought I need a handle too. So I was the Eager
Ketchup.
Beaver because I was a Beaver Scout, and
okay.
I thought I'm an Eager Beaver. And of course, my entire childhood growing up, I was thought of as something different. But anyway, okay, I digress.
Great. Wow.
Wow, yeah,
I
we
feel
really-
like the
we-
dirtiest one in the room now.
Yeah. We really took it and ran with it there, huh?
I had to make something out of nothing on that one. That's all. Okay, so
We fumbled. We fumbled pretty good.
let's get back on track here. A basket case. You ever hear the expression basket case?
Yeah, the Green Day song.
Yeah, Green Day. I was just gonna say, like a psychopath.
It's a good
Yep.
tune, yeah.
So, any thoughts of where this may have come from?
I want to say, oh man,
Nice.
You know,
Okay.
I don't know.
Looney bin basket.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always thought it had to do with somebody that was like emotionally broken, where they were, stressed out, whether they were insane or crazy with rage or whatever. They were just a basket case.
Yeah.
Just frazzled all over the place. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So this is yet another example of a crude military saying. In today's time, a basket case is someone who's crazy, stressed out, or unable to cope. During World War I, it referred to soldiers who lost their arms and legs and had to be carried around by others in a litter or a basket.
Oh my goodness.
So like
Okay.
like C-3PO being carried in a bag
Yes,
by Chewbacca.
yes.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
C-3PO
cool.
was a
On
basket
the back.
case
The whole thing, exactly like
with
that.
his head
Nice.
on backwards.
That
This
was
is the
a
only way I'm
basket
gonna make
case.
sense of this shit. So just bear with me.
But how, like
I'm
John
mortified.
was saying earlier, how did it go from that
Yeah, really.
to what
That's fucking wild.
I mean,
Use it
if you
as
didn't have
now.
any arms or legs, I bet you lost your marbles a little bit too.
But
That'd be, I don't know if that's all the sense I could make of it. That's my head,
It's just
heads
so
or tails
weird.
response.
It's so weird how these things come about. You know, honestly, we can sit here right now and come up with a phrase and just call it something, and then 100 years from now, it could be something totally different, meaning something totally different. I mean, words are just crazy. In fact, some expressions aren't even the right expression.
Oh.
So some things people just say wrong all the time. You ever hear the one "nip it in the butt"?
Oh yeah. I just did this the other day, and somebody pointed it out to me.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell us about that.
Yeah. I said something about nipping something in the butt. Like you gotta get it, nip it in the butt to get it to stop or something early. And they were like, "No, nipping it in the bud is the term."
Exactly.
And I've been doing that wrong my whole life. I had an existential crisis, guys. Like, I was going
Makes
through
you
a thing.
see the world in a different way. It really does.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, nipping something in the bud means that you're putting an end to it before it has a chance to start or grow. And nipping something in the butt means you're biting its behind. So a little different, just a little.
Quite different.
Yep.
Nice.
What about you've got another thing coming?
Oh,
You
my
ever get
mom
that
used to say
expression?
this to me all the time.
Oh, the Judas Priest song.
Yeah, you've got another thing coming.
Another good song. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, good song. It actually comes from you've got another think coming. This is one of those phrases when the incorrect usage actually does make sense and has become its own phrase, but it still is technically wrong. In fact, most people don't even know what the correct phrase unless they look it up. I sure didn't.
Yeah,
The correct version really only makes sense if you use the entire sentence. So if that's what you think, you've got another think coming.
Oh,
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I
So-
got it.
That's where it came from.
Interesting.
And this is always one that makes me kind of pissy. I've known this one for a while. You guys know the expression or the word irregardless?
Yeah.
You ever heard
Yeah,
irregardless?
I don't
I
think
don't use it because I never
No.
use it right. So
exactly. That's exactly my point, as Mark was saying. Yeah. No, I'm too afraid to use it wrong, so I just don't do it.
Yeah, regardless means without regard.
Yeah.
Right? Regardless. You have no regard. To throw IR to the beginning of the word makes it a double negative.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So
Right.
without regard is what you would be saying, and it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say that in real conversation.
I've
maybe
said
that's
it once
why
or
I never
twice.
use it then because I knew
You've said that, Sean?
Yeah, well, I'm half wit, so I don't know what to tell you.
No, you're a full wit. Don't be so hard on yourself. there.
Two halves of a whole idiot. That's
Irregardless.
Irregardless, move along. Yeah. For all intensive purposes.
Oh boy,
Ooh.
yeah. Okay, I heard this one too.
this one actually it was explained to me over Facebook. I don't know how the fuck people on Facebook are figuring this shit out, but I don't know. It changed every like the whole way I look at it now.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I saw it on Facebook, and it was something like they were like explaining like the actual expression, and then I was like, oh, so that's what it
It makes
is.
so much more
I thought it
sense
was-
than what people actually are saying. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, okay. So now it makes more sense. I was like, I didn't understand it fully at first, and now I get it.
Well, for all intensive purposes, you may feel very strongly and intense about your purpose, but that doesn't make the phrase correct.
Mm-hmm.
Another common incorrect use of the phrase is switching the words for and with. The correct phrase means that you are covering all possibilities and circumstances. So the actual phrase is for all intents and purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So for all your intentions and for all your purposes, you're being very, you're covering all possibilities and circumstances.
Makes so much more sense.
English is fantastic.
The hardest
I know.
language in the world to learn.
It is, yeah. It is.
Absolutely. Have you guys got any expressions that you've thought of that you want to dig into?
Oh boy, no, I don't off the top of my head. Those are all the ones that I've gone accustomed to.
There's so many. I mean, we hear them all the time, and every time I've heard them, I've tried to make notes. But you know what's funny about notes?
No, what's funny about notes, Brian?
I can never find my freaking notes.
I've got one, guys. I've got
Yeah,
one.
awesome.
All right.
I know you all have heard this one. Break a leg.
Okay.
Yes, I
When
have.
somebody
All right,
goes on stage, you tell them to break a leg.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
what
threat.
What do you guys think it means?
If somebody said that to me in skateboarding, I'd be like, "Don't talk to me. You're ruining my vibe." If I break my leg, it's your fault.
Isn't that what they said to Nancy Kerrigan before she went out?
Oh, Brian! Oh my
God.
goodness!
Too
Wow.
soon.
God.
I'm sorry, Nancy
my-
Kerrigan. I
Oh,
felt horrible
man.
for you. I did.
Okay,
sorry.
well, let's hear it.
Weird Al wrote a song about that, actually.
Canceled.
I always thought it was like a
Yeah.
like break a
Contract
leg. I
rip-off.
always thought it was like
Yeah.
you know, like when someone wishes you good luck,
Yeah.
there's like superstition attached to that. So like I thought it was like a negative to be like the opposite of whatever good luck would mean. I thought that's what it was.
So it's like saying, like, "Hey, walk underneath a ladder,
Yeah.
break a mirror." You're
Hey, get hit by a car.
What it actually originates from is during the Elizabethan times. Instead of applause, the audience would bang their chairs on the ground, and if they liked it
Interesting.
enough, the leg of the chair would break. So that's the origin. I thought that was so cool.
Oh,
that
that is
makes
cool.
total sense.
that is that. Yeah,
That is
makes
cool.
a lot more sense than what I thought
Yeah.
it would be.
Very
What did you think
interesting.
it would be?
So, wait.
Something violent.
Wouldn't that mean if somebody were to go on stage or perform or whatever, wouldn't you say break legs?
Break
You
all the
want-
legs.
Yeah, break all the legs. Because if you're just breaking a leg, that's just one person who's like super enthusiastic about what the fuck you're doing.
Got that one super fan.
Yeah,
I have
literally.
one that I was kind of curious about while we were talking here. You know, you're until the cows come home.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
You heard that one?
Yes.
I was curious about that one because, like, you do something until the cows come home or whatever.
I'm guessing that's got to do until the cows come home. Would that have to do with
Uh-oh.
like the cowboys when they would drive the cattle across the ranches to bring them back?
Oh, let's find out. So the expression was in use during the 19th century, with an example appearing in print in 1829 in a British newspaper called The Times. If the Duke will but do what he unquestionably can do, and propose a Catholic bill with securities, he may be a minister, but they say in Scotland, until the cows come home. What? That's not even like really. It's a Scottish origin phrase.
What the fuck did I just listen to?
I have no idea, man. I'm flying off the handle here. I don't know what's going on.
Oh God, you
For a
are
very
the
long
weakest link.
period.
Goodbye.
What is that even from? That's
That
another
was-
phrase that.
That was the weakest link, man. The fucking TV show with that old bat that was a bitch.
Well, we didn't find out what that one meant, but great.
That was her name. The old bat that was a bitch. That was.
Oh yeah, my mom
People
watched that
know
show.
her. Okay, so I found another answer to till the cows come home.
Thank goodness. Oh, you're saving me here.
What is the origin of the term "till the cows come home"? While discussing this with friends tonight, a group had two possible explanations. One, cows return to their barn for milking at a given time late each night. And two,
Fair.
if a cow runs away or escapes, it doesn't return, unlike horses, which will return to their stable. As such, till the cows come home is an indefinitely long time.
Fair enough.
So
How about when pigs fly? That's another
Yeah, I
one.
was just gonna say that.
Oh, okay.
We're on the barnyard animals now.
Did you
I
look,
like
did you look
barnyard
that one up?
animals.
No, I'm gonna let someone else try that. I can't look that up.
All right.
I tried this already.
Let's take a look here. All right. Does anybody have any idea?
All right, I do, but you can go ahead.
I want to know where it came from.
I want to know how pigs can fly. Were they shooting them with catapults like the
Bruh,
fucking, like,
that's the thing. They don't fly, bro.
like Father John Misty down the way was like, "Hey, Farmer John, fucking send me over
Love
a couple
Father John
pigs.
Misty.
I need some bacon." And then he just flung them over via catapult. It was like email, but like for olden days,
That's exactly what it's from.
Good
I am
job, Sean.
amazed. That's exactly no. I have no. That is not what it's from. Mark, do you have an answer?
No,
you wanna go to?
I'm finding out. I think it's basically just a term that is it's the longest shot.
if hell freezes over kind of thing.
That's right. That's right. I might actually eat kale. Yeah, when pigs fly. So
I love that.
That's really not going to happen, right? Because
So I found the origins pigs might fly or pigs may fly has been used in various forms since the 1600s. When it was said that pigs fly with their tails forward, used as a sarcastic remark, something very overly optimistic. The form when pigs fly is more common in America. So basically, it's just saying it's never going to happen. Pigs fly with their tails forward. It doesn't happen.
Pigs fly with their tails forward. That's another guy you don't want to stand next to at a party. The one who says that.
I'm getting a weird image in my head of just the fucking tail, just.
No, yeah, don't think about it too much.
Actually, here's a really interesting one. Mad as a hatter.
Ooh.
Have you
I
heard
always
that
thought of
expression before?
Alice in Wonderland. That's the only
Yeah,
thing
I
I
was
can
gonna
say.
say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that would have to do with Alice in Wonderland.
Mhm.
Well,
Or the Mad Hatter.
the meaning technically is to be completely crazy, right?
Yeah.
The origin, no, you didn't already know this one because it didn't originate from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland.
Shoot.
The origins date from the 17th and 18th century, well before Lewis Carroll's book was published. In the 17th century France, poisoning occurred among the hat makers who used mercury for the hat felt. The Mad Hatter disease was marked by shyness, irritability, and tremors that would make the person appear mad. So basically, hatters back in the day got sick because they're using mercury to make the hat pieces, and that mercury bled into their system and made them mad. So Mad as a Hatter was literally from hatters.
They had some serious buzz going.
Yeah.
Yep.
That one I
brutal.
actually knew. That one I actually knew.
Holy shit.
Unreal.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's some
That
really
is-
cool ones.
That is grim. Hoi, oi, oi.
Bury the hatchet.
Oh, is it another?
Well,
is
I'm sure
it
we can
somebody getting
kind
hurt
of-
here?
We can kind of know where this might be going.
It's
Mark,
like
what do you
murder
think?
mystery.
I know how we use it. Like it's to bury the hatchet is to end an argument or
Yeah.
finally settle something. But what is the origin of it?
Any guesses?
Is
Don't
it
even
like
want to go there. Don't even
is
want
it-
to go there.
is it like a 48 hours thing where they're trying to hide the murder weapon?
What?
Who knows?
I don't know
Who
why,
knows?
but when you said 48 hours, I could just picture Eddie Murphy and Nick, whatever his
Nick
name
Nolte.
was. Nick
Oh,
Nolte. 48 hours the movie. I'm like, is that something in the movie you're talking about? No.
It's like the
nothing.
TV show, the one that all the girls watch nowadays because they love crime shit now. I don't know.
I'm a fan of true crime shit.
My wife is into that stuff, and it makes me worried because she watches so many things about how to get away with murder. I just
Exactly.
know if I ever disappear, she'll get off scot-free.
Literally.
Okay, so this one dates back to the early times in North America when the Puritans were in conflict with the Native Americans. When negotiating peace, the Native Americans would bury all their hatchets, knives, clubs, and tomahawks. Weapons literally were buried and made inaccessible.
Huh. Wow.
Okay, so
So-
it still means essentially the same thing. It's just not a literal term.
It's to stop a conflict and
Yeah.
make peace, but the way they did it was by burying all their hatchets. And all
Like
their
you're
weapons.
literally burying hatchets in the
Ah,
ground.
Literally
Yeah.
burying the hatchet,
Wow.
ending it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Caught red-handed. Have you ever been caught red-handed?
Yep.
Please don't expand on that.
I'm not.
Come
don't
on, I was
worry.
hoping you would.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. This originates from an old English law that ordered any person to be punished for butchering an animal that wasn't his own.
Oh.
The only way the person could be convicted is if he was caught with the animal's blood still on his hands.
Yeah, I pictured blood on hands and stuff like that, but I just wasn't sure of
Yeah.
to what extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Here's a I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Okay. So the expression is "Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater." Now,
Oh,
Yeah.
everybody
Wait,
knows
what?
me.
I've heard this before.
That one,
Yeah.
I've
knows
heard
how
that
I
one
feel
before,
about
yeah.
babies.
Oh, it's one of my
Um,
favorite expressions ever. I hope it's not bad.
Oh man.
So
What?
the meaning is don't get rid of valuable things along with the unnecessary ones. That's kind of what it's trying to say, right?
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, the baby being the valuable thing in the scenario, obviously.
Quite literally. So okay, this is really disgusting, but it just makes me laugh. Okay, so
Oh no.
you won't believe this one. In the early 1500s, people only bathed once a year. Not
Makes
only
sense.
that,
Yeah.
Oh,
but
yeah.
they also bathed in the same water without changing it.
Oh, cool.
The adult males would bathe first, then the females, leaving the children and babies to go last. By the time the babies got in, the water was clouded with filth. The poor mothers had to take extra care that their babies were not thrown out with the bathwater.
Oh my gosh.
How do
Sorry, I
you
couldn't-
fuck that up?
It had to have happened once.
They have an expression.
There's an
Yeah.
expression put in
It's a
place. It
thing.
had to have happened once.
Oh
Apparently
God.
it's
Yeah.
happened.
Because the water's really cloudy, I
It's
guess. I don't
disgusting,
know.
Or they
Jesus.
could
So,
bathe
like,
more
the
than once
baby
a
would
year.
have had to been fully submerged in the water to be.
Well, how do you
Oh
clean
my
the baby?
Like, that seems very
Fishing around in the water,
dangerous.
like,
Just
bobbing
swirling
for
it.
babies. Where's the baby?
Oh,
Why
he's
is this-
fully submerged in the brown water.
Why is this filth water bubbling? What the fuck is that?
Ew!
So
Oh my
bad.
God.
I saw a
I got
family
one.
do that on like Lifetime, you know,
Yeah.
like those families who are cheapskates or whatever. You seen those things? Those are terrible programs
Is that
you
the name
shouldn't
of a
watch.
show? Your family's a cheapskate? Is
Yeah,
that
or
okay?
something like that. Yeah, the family all bathes in the same
Oh,
water for a week.
extreme
Yeah, it's
extreme
extreme cheapskates. Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, we should do an episode about that, Sean. Yeah, write
Oh
that down.
God. Yeah.
Write it down.
Oh no.
That's content
Fuck.
right there,
Okay,
baby.
I got one.
right.
Shit or get off the pot.
Ooh.
Oh,
What is
that's a
that?
good one.
I want to
Okay.
know where
Kinda-
that one came from.
Well, I'm going to assume that there was a pot that somebody was pooping in, and
Yep, there was fecus.
fecus. Lots of fecus.
All right.
Oh, they're on it. The research team is all over it.
We are on this.
It's
The
nice not having to
metaphor-
do the work. This is good. I
Yeah,
enjoy
right?
this.
The metaphor alluding to a fisherman who ties up the use of a boat or rod when he could at least be preparing bait for others to use, originated in 19th century politics. A ruder 20th century American version is shit or get off the pot.
Nice. Wow. Did not expect that one coming.
Yeah, me neither. Fuck, I thought it was just like you better take a shit, you better get walking. Like,
Yeah.
like fuck.
Used to convey that someone should stop wasting time and get on with something.
Fair.
Stop,
Yeah.
stop wasting time and get on with it. It's also another use, another term for the same thing as fish or cut bait.
Yeah.
Oh, that one makes a lot more
Yeah.
sense with the other one.
Yeah,
But you got us, so it's going to be
Yeah,
derogatory.
so-
Fuck it.
exactly.
You better poop or leave.
Yeah. Shit or get out of my house.
Well, that's it. It's quit wasting time. Get on with it, and that's.
But I
Yeah.
don't want to leave. Okay, well, then go shit.
Pinch
But
it
I'm not
off.
done with my Twitter feed
Go
yet.
right ahead.
I haven't gotten to the end of my Instagram stories.
Rub
Does
the
that ever
wrong
happen?
way.
Rubbed the wrong way.
Have you ever been rubbed the wrong way?
Yes.
Constantly on a daily basis, yes.
In more ways than one, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
no. Oh, no.
So the meaning is to bother or annoy someone. Right?
I'm picturing an animal. That's the only thing I've got is like petting a cat the wrong way will piss it off. I've done that before. Like you're supposed to
Yeah.
pet the cat's hair in a certain way, like front to
Yeah.
back, not back to front, or they get all.
How they
Yeah,
hate
they don't-
that.
They
don't
hate
like
that.
it.
See, that's what I mean. That's
Yeah.
where it came from.
I'm just gonna like completely take mine because it was super dirty. I'm just gonna merge it with John's because that's just where I'm gonna go for now.
You don't even need to say it. We all know what you're thinking.
Okay, good. As long as y'all know, I don't have to explain it. We're good.
All the pieces are there. You put them together. Okay.
Exactly.
It's like the IKEA of jokes. It's just there.
It doesn't get more obvious.
It just all comes in a little bag, and you put it together in your own mind.
Well, actually, you know what? You were right. Alternatively, I'm going to get the original one in a second, but alternatively, it could have derived from rubbing a cat's fur the wrong way, which annoys them, obviously. But early Americans during colonial times would ask their servants to rub their oak floorboards the right way. The wrong way, not wiping them with a dry fabric after wet fabric, would cause streaks to form and ruin it. leaving the homeowner annoyed. Alternatively, it could have derived from rubbing a cat's fur the wrong way. I like rubbing the floorboards the wrong way better as an origin because rubbing
too.
floorboards. Who even rubs floorboards? People
Yeah,
get
why
a
are you rubbing the
Swiffer these days.
floorboards?
Yeah.
Who's rubbing
Swiffer that stuff. You don't need
Get a
to
mop and a
rub your
bucket.
floorboard.
There's a joke here about rubbing the oak, but we'll just leave it at that.
This is filthy.
It pays not to be the only dirty-minded fuck on the podcast.
word.
This is so great.
Dirty word.
It's a masturbation joke, guys. Let's go. Actually, it's more of a. Never mind. Let's go.
Awesome.
There are so many, guys.
There
we can
are
go
so many.
on
Wow,
and
I've learned
on
so much.
and on and on.
And some of it you didn't want to learn.
But I think the main point I think we want to get across with an episode like tonight's show is to remind people that words matter. Look into what you're saying. Pay attention to the origin of things. For example, I don't like the word trump. I don't let it anywhere on my screen. I don't let it anywhere on my computer. This is a word that I have changed my vocabulary to not say. So when I'm saying something supersedes something else, I don't say this blanks that.
Hell no.
So, we listen to words and we think differently about words. And if we can hear one of these expressions like rule of thumb, no, from now on, beat your wife with a thin pencil. That's all you have to worry about. Stop going for those big fat clubs. And
you guys saw the boxing gloves earlier, right?
But Brian also said we got like bare knuckle boxing in that room sometimes.
Yeah,
so he's just waiting for a fist to come through.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
The tables have turned. That's another one.
Ooh,
that's good.
Interesting.
One, actually.
Yep.
Now I'm curious.
Oh,
I have a feeling Brian was trying to close us out here. Yeah, don't mean
that. Well, normally we'd have some questions to ask and go into all that, but you guys have answered those questions.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they've already answered those questions,
You have.
I mean, hey, if you guys got new ones.
Well, we do have new ones.
Ooh, I'm down.
But people will have to wait for episode 2 to hear them.
Oh, bummer.
Yes.
Ooh, interesting.
I hope I don't have to wait for episode 2.
That's called clickbait.
Like for part 2. Like for part 2.
Tables have turned. If someone used to be in a better position than you in terms of wealth, power, and overall advantage, but now are in a better position. Now you are in a better position than them. Then the tables have turned. We say that the tables have turned when the roles between two people or groups of people have reversed. The expression is often used to reflect major changes of parties, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have an origin. So this was useful. Oh, wait, here. Did you know the expression dates back as far as 1612 and relates to board games such as chess and backgammon? If someone turned the table, they would change the position of the board.
Interesting.
So that the person who was winning had to play the game from the side of the person who was losing.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, interesting.
So
I like
turning
that.
the tables. There you go.
Wow,
Sweet.
It never ends.
This is the episode that just keeps on giving.
Fantastic idea.
Guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being here enough. I have so much fun every time I hang out with you guys. Thank you for agreeing to be on our first episode of season 2. Aurora and Mark, guys, thank you so much. We survived season 1. We're starting off season 2. We've got some big plans for what we're going to do. We've got a new situation going. I don't have it completed at the time of this recording, so I don't want to say exactly what we're going to do. But
that's exciting.
Intros are going to be a little different, and music hopefully might be a little different. And who knows what's going to be different? I don't know because it hasn't happened yet in our world. But when it happens, and we post this on January 10th, you will know immediately. So
unless the network cancels us.
You don't get renewed for another season. Then
they're like, okay, you guys had Planet Pointless on. You talked about a rule of thumb. You're off.
You're done.
You're done. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having us again.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
It's a great honor to join you guys on your podcast, and it's something we talk about very frequently on our episodes too. We always give you guys shout outs and we love you. You guys are so much.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Well, I mean, you are the first guest to be on our show twice. So
even more of an honor.
Yeah.
All right.
Couldn't be more stoked. Good conversation,
Aurora,
guys.
Mark, anything you'd like to say before we say goodbye?
I would just like to say, give Planet Pointless a like and subscribe, follow them on YouTube, and please give Expressions the podcast a like and subscribe and share, all that jazz. Yeah, we want you to keep coming
Where
back.
did that come from?
Oh my goodness!
There's another one.
Stay tuned.
That time,
Episode
we have
2 when we get into
The rabbit hole.
I'm starting to eat dinner. I mean,
Hold on.
He's like eating dinner too.
Wait.
What the hell?
We're trying.
Which pill do I take to wake up and end it? Is it the blue or the red? No,
We're in too deep.
Honestly, guys, thanks for being here again. It's always a lot of fun when you're on the show. it's just awesome. And if you're tuning in for the first time for the first episode of season 2, make sure you go back to season 1 and listen to those. There's some great guests on there, and some of the actually a lot of the back issues of Planet Pointless podcast are just really entertaining as well. So I often have them on while I'm working. Not that I work anymore. I'm a house husband, but we're good to go. And we'll see you
Thanks
guys
so
next
much,
week.
guys.
Thank you very much, guys.
Before we go, I want to do a quick throwback to what we always did at the beginning of our first seasons. At the end of our episodes, we remind people that we do this for our mental health. We do this because we believe mental health is something that we should all be more aware of. And we have so many benefits from doing this podcast individually. I know John and Sean, you guys do as well. But for anybody who is having any trouble with their mental health, talk to somebody, reach out, get some help. There's a lot of good places out there that can help you out. The Henry's Foundation is something that Aurora and I believe in strongly. They donate all the money that they gather to kidshelpphonejack.org and many other places from coast to coast in Canada. So please take care of yourselves, take care of your mental health, and we will see you all next week. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.
Peace.
Those little pellets look like nerds. Remember nerds?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's what they look like to me.
Actually, I read something interesting about nerds. If you're like a candy guy and you like sweet stuff, you can put nerds in a pepper mill and use it as a garnish on ice cream. You just grind them onto your ice cream.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why would somebody do that?
Sounds so
Why not?
yummy.
That's the weirdest shit.
Get your Chapman's ice cream and grind it up, and
Good grief.
Candy
What-
coating.
I feel like that would be like diabetes inducing. Like that just sounds terrifying.
But like, come on. Who cares?
Oh, fuck.
All right, well, fuckity fuck.
Fuck.
And we're firmly planted in Expressions Podcast Season 2.